that I've noticed, like with you're filming. I want to photograph this. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, now here's the other weird thing: is like, look at these trees.
The combo is amazing.
All right, so we're in Carnation, Washington, and this tree is just immense. Of course, you know, that's kind of par for the course around here. And then at the base of the tree, we have more nettles than you could shake a stick at. Now I have to wonder, Heidi, since nettles are such a nitrogen pig, there's got to be a big gob of nitrogen right here. So I'm kind of wondering, what are they getting it from? Are they getting it from some sort of wood duff, perhaps?
Could be from the tree itself, dropping all the leaves. And then I see mounds of remains of chips. I think there were some big chip piles around here in the past. So.
Well, it looks like birds have been helping.
So this is really prime height too. Like, you don't want to harvest too much past this stage. My rule of thumb is once they're knee high, they're too far gone. And what they have is they've got silica, little silica crystals in them that become irritants in the stomach lining. You don't actually know that you're being affected by them necessarily, but you might have some sensitivity in, in your intestine. So anyway, this is, and I've confirmed with this with some biochemists, that this is, you really don't want to go much higher. I hear some things like harvest until they're flowering, those kinds of things, but I think that's too late. I think by then it's already started to harden up. So,
all right. I've heard something about the kidneys.
Yeah, I mean, it's because you're processing
with
it's
silica.
Got these little, it's glass crystals basically. They're in the plant, so it'd be tearing up your insides. So anyway, but this is beautiful, and many of the other patches are much further along. This is a great patch right here. Yeah. So
all right, so
and the other thing is, when I look at nettle patches, I see food, but I also see habitat for all kinds of species of animals, including some of our threatened butterflies, really depend on this, their larvae. So you need to leave these patches for them. And then I also see, I'm looking back there, seeing great cordage in the fall, where these stalks are important cordage. So I try to harvest where I don't really look like I was here. I just try to selectively go through, and you couldn't really tell
like
I
the
was
deer.
here. Yeah. So.
all right. So
Probably put on a glove. So we can wear gloves, or in some settings, if you're just getting at it sideways, you just drop them right into a... I like to use a paper bag. It's actually one of my favorite gathering tools, because if I end up not using it right away, fresh...
now you just picked it with your bare hands.
I did. What you want to do is grab it really firmly.
on the top of the leaf right here.
That or the stalk, if you grab it super firm,
Oh,
it
you-
doesn't tend to, you'll get stung by the other leaves around you, but I kind of like it. It's said to, Heidi can confirm this for sure, it's said to be good for arthritis, and so people will actually intentionally sting themselves. So I kind of like it just to remind me of who I'm touching.
So the stingers are on the underside of the leaf.
Right.
So now some people are much more reactive to nettle than others. Some people, the sting will hurt for days. So those people definitely want to wear gloves. And I don't know, I tend to feel, I'll usually end up with some little irritant, but within a couple hours, it's, I'm not thinking about it anymore.
So that's an interesting technique. You're snipping it, and then you're using the snippers to kind of gently pick it up.
Yeah, and I could go further into the stalk and get them, but frankly, I like this, just the upper part here, because I don't always eat everything I just harvested fresh right here. I just got stung there. And so now that I put them in this bag, I'll take out what I want to use right now. I may do some other uses for these, like steam them and or blanch them and freeze them. But generally, I'll just keep them in this bag. I'll fill this I'll spread out the nettle until their bag's about a third full. And then I'll just keep them in this bag, shake it daily, and eventually they'll just dry. And they'll maintain their color. It's a way to harvest and save them without handling them again, especially drying them. Like you don't have to put them on drying racks or anything. You just put them in this bag and keep them in a nice warm place.
Wow.
So that's...
Boy, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Yeah.
No, and I've kept nettle. I mean, you want to try to use it as often, as quickly as you, I guess, as you can within the year, because you'll have some next year anyway. But I've stored it for over a year, even 2 years, in just a paper bag, and it's still just as good.
Well, I got some at the house that's
Wow.
probably even more than 2 years old. It's in a jar, and you can see it's still nice and green and full of life and energy. I use that in my soups, so we'll talk about that later.
So now I'm seeing a lot of bird crap on a lot of these nettles, and I'm thinking these nettles have probably been growing here for about a month.
That's probably about right.
And the fact that I'm seeing, a significant amount of bird crap on these leaves makes me think that the reason why this nettle patch is here may have to do with birds up in the tree making their donations.
Yeah,
So there's
probably nice habitat, but there's some owl pellets here or raptor pellets.
There are?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds. Well, I don't know. It could be buried in here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a habitat for some of our raptors.
So now you're not cutting, are you pinching?
Yeah, I give it just a firm grasp right there on the stalk.
Mm-hmm. And just kind of break
And then,
it off.
yeah, you kind of do a quick snap, and most of the time it breaks if you get it in the right place in the stalk.
So now the technique over here is to use really big gloves. Making extra sure you don't get stung.
I don't like being sensitive.
Okay. So, but you're about to whip out your other hand there to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking of being bold? You're gonna try?
Ow.
Oh, you got bit!
Aw.
It's okay. This isn't some macho sort of thing.
Yeah. It's not like we're daring you to do it.
That's not right.
Apparently, have you tried them raw?
I have not tried them raw. Will you eat them raw?
I don't often.
That's a dare.
Yeah, Scottish
dare ya.
cuisine.
I dare ya.
I pass.
Press children and
Yes,
You even
it's-
touch the bottom side.
It's good for, well, I actually touched I guess I am touching the bottom side.
Yeah, and you're
So-
not feeling the sting.
What you can do if you want to eat it raw is you fold it so you don't touch the underside, and then you roll it up. You kind of want to mash it really good, and then
And you're eating it in little tiny bites?
yeah, here's our top side.
No sting? And what's the flavor like?
very fresh, light, almost nutty actually. Really different than when it's cooked.
I'll be uploading a bunch more nettle videos soon. More harvesting, more eating raw nettles, nettle pizza, nettle lasagna, nettle soup, more nettle soup, and eggs with nettles. I'll also be tasting wild camas, bitterroot, coos, and other wild foods. If you like this sort of thing, come on out to the forums at permies.com, where we talk about wild harvesting, homesteading, and permaculture all the time.